Hello, my name is Kyle Igo, and today I will be um, essentially an underwriter for global aerospace and just kind of evaluating eVTOL manufacturing, Archer Aviation, kind of going over some recent things that have happened with them and whether or not we should ensure their operation for the Midnight aircraft. Perfect, and then just kind of going over their liability as well. So, first question is explaining what a hard and a soft insurance market is. A soft insurance market is essentially a market where there's a lot of competition between insurers and they're fighting for customers. So they're a little bit looser overall as a company. They usually have lower premiums, higher capacity to take on more customers as well, and overall fewer restrictions for buyers too. It is generally a cheaper insurance to buy too. So it's kind of a little bit about soft markets, I guess, kind of general overview. And then a hard insurance market, if you could assume, is pretty much the exact opposite. So a hard insurance market is when insurers are more cautious and more selective in who they sell insurance to, and it is pretty much the opposite, like I said, of soft markets. The premiums are higher and they're more selective, and they have a smaller capacity overall too. In this, both can be generally like what each side is going through. If there's uncertainty in the future or just overall uncertainty, hard insurance markets are generally where people are, is what they are. And then if there's not, or kind of depending on what it is, but if there's not as much uncertainty, a soft insurance market is essentially what might be happening at that time. Next question. So using the articles above, explain whether the eVTOL AAM insurance market is currently going through a hard or soft market and why. So perfect. So based on the articles listed above, they're listed in Blackboard, I guess. eVTOL AAM is currently a hard market. One of the articles that talks about how overall they are not comfortable with what they do not know. Essentially, what I talked about before, uncertainty. Uncertainty is kind of gets us all. It's nerve-wracking for us, but definitely insurance companies as well. So if the company is saying they're not confident or not comfortable with what they don't know yet, then we should probably be a little bit more aware as well. Their overall capacity has decreased and their premiums have begun to raise, and this is due to things like active flight tests and uncertainty for the future. And then in one of the articles, it also talks about how there was an accident for their aircraft, overall, there's a lot of uncertainty, and uncertainty leads to instability. And like I said, their premiums have risen. They have increased their deductibles as well, and those are all indicators for a hard market. Next, we'll explain whether Global Aerospace, our company, should or should not select the Archer as a risk to underwrite using the course material from Avit 313. So we have a couple different things to go through. But overall, I like to start out with as a concept that we've had in a lot of different aviation classes, and I didn't really know if it would transfer over to insurance as well, but the likelihood risk assessment matrix here. So overall, we can kind of look at what's gone on with the company and stuff, and we understand that we learn in aviation from accidents. So this one accident, I don't think should be something that's taken too seriously. I mean, obviously it's something to note, but overall their accidents are relatively improbable. They don't happen that often. And then their severity, so when you think of it from a person standpoint, it's nobody was injured, but when you think of it from an aircraft, it's it wrecked the aircraft. But overall, I would say improbable, and then major for the risk severity. So just because the aircraft was pretty beat up, major to minor, I guess would probably be a better one. So so that's kind of a tool we use in 313. Next, kind of going over all the thing. This is that we should underwrite the Archer, I guess. Meets lots of the criteria, kind of based on what you should insure or not. So like I said, not catastrophic on their just kind of like day-to-day operations. And then they have a safety first culture as well. The company does, which is something that you want to see. And then there's lots of financial backing with the company as well, because they are very highly funded too. So yeah, so that's kind of with that. Then moving on here. Perfect. So yeah. So overall, coming from a standpoint of more specifically, when we talk about, or yeah, like going into more specific, specifically on how to, on how the entrance and emerging technologies such as eVTOL and air mobility, how it can apply to new entrants. So new technologies as well, again, leading to uncertainty. But like I said, overall, with the backing of this company, they should be a fine company to insure. And based on their risk probability and their risk assessment, I think that they would be a good company for us to insure and look into. So, yeah.